That should make the lady happy when she's cooking, and I'm happy because I love LEDs. Well, I haven't shared this with YouTube at all, but I've been building this camper for the last couple months. I bought it with some roof damage, tree limb hit it, and it rained all down the walls inside. Sat for 2 years, got moldy, rotted out, everything. So I did have to pretty much gut 3/4 of it, replace the entire roof, all the cross braces, reframe this wall. I built this cabinet here, and I did the bathroom different than how it was, so I added some FRP in there, added a nicer faucet. The front here I just kept how it was, but the issue is there's no light under here. So my goal today, and I'm going to show you guys how I do it, is to add this LED light bar. It's got a little on-off button there, so it'll sit under here. Just walk up, boom, you can see what you're doing. I'm gonna steal some power off of the wiring for the radio right here because it's right up in that cabinet, and LEDs don't take any power to run, so I think it's gonna work out good. I'm just gonna show you guys how I do it. Figure maybe some other people with campers will want to do this, and once they see how easy it is, hopefully they'll do it themselves. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do, since this is going to be a little bit visible underneath there, I took a little piece of heat shrink. I'm just going to slide it down and shrink it so it'll at least be black instead of seeing red and black. Should hide it a little bit better. You don't have to do this, but it's just one little step that I think will make it look a little bit cleaner. Okay, so see, now all you'll see is a little bit of black instead of this bright red sticking out at you. Next, I'm just going to take some scrap wiring I have. I'm going to extend these 2 leads a little bit so that I have more room to work with once I get inside the cabinet. So once I do that, we'll head into the camp.
1 week later.
All right, well, it's now a week later because I got a little sidetracked last weekend finishing up the window, and now it gets dark before I get home, and yeah, here we are. So heat shrink is on there now. Now we're inside the camper. What I'm gonna do is steal power from the radio right here, and then mount it under here, and then the wire can go right in there, and you won't see it because everything's blocked off in there. And I think it's the simplest, most effective way to do it. And as I said before, LEDs take no power, and realistically I'll probably never use the radio, but it's there. So first thing we have to do is get the radio out, which if you take a look here on each side there is a little cutout, and you'll just stick a little screwdriver in there. This whole plate will pop out, and then there's 4 screws here, and then the whole radio will slide out. Pop that side out and that side. See? There you go. And now we have 1, 2, 3, 4 screws, and this whole thing's gonna slide out. But since I'm super prepared, I gotta go get my other drill. All right, so they're just the standard S2 screws that they use in campers pretty much everywhere. So if you're working on a camper, you're probably gonna wanna get one of these bits. But take these 4 screws out. Here's the wiring here. On this one, the top connector is for speakers, and then the bottom connector has the power and stuff. So what we're gonna do is steal off of these wires right here. So I'm gonna disconnect, and I'm also gonna kill the power at the fuse panel. This way I don't blow a fuse and have to replace a fuse. All right, so I've pulled the fuse, radio's off, so now we're good to work with it. Next thing I'm gonna do is just disconnect this so that it's not dangling here, and I'll have access to the wires. There's one connector. All right, and on mine, it's actually really easy because everything is labeled here. So I've got a ground here and 12 volt ignition here, which on this, since it's not in a car, basically whenever you have power going to it, this is going to be on there. There is no ignition. So I could either steal power from the yellow or the red, and then the ground is just going to go to the black. So next step I'm going to do is figure out exactly where I want this. It's going to go this way so that the wires are over there. And keep in mind where my divider is in here, because I do need the wire to go up behind the divider. So I'm going to figure out the exact location, then I'm going to drill a hole through there. Wire's going to pop up, we'll pull it back, splice it in here, and we're almost done. Now I'm going to take some heat shrink, wrap it on here, shrink it, put the wire through the other end, and hopefully that'll hold it enough to pull it through here. Couldn't have planned that better myself. That worked absolutely perfect. I've got plenty of extra here, so I can just cut this. So I'm gonna steal it from the yellow, the power. So just gonna cut it, splice both ends of it, or strip both ends, sorry. So what I'm gonna do is just temporarily connect them and test that my theory will work before I button everything up permanently. So they're twisted together, put the fuse back in. We've got light, switch works, easy enough. So I'll pull the fuse back out, finish everything up, and all I'm gonna do is simply crimp them. Okay, so those are all connected now. Put the fuse back in, make sure it still works, and then still works. Then we'll just put the radio in. This mounts with double-sided tape under here, and we're done. Okay, we're still working. Now, I'm gonna put the tape on first so I can mount this, so I can pull all of the excess cable into this cabinet before I put the radio in. Pull the backing off. Alright, pull off that backing there. And I'm going to pull this through now. Okay. That's mounted up there. And as you can see, now you'll just reach under and boom, we've got light. The heat shrink did clean it up a little bit here so you could barely see it. And it's on there good, so that's good. It also did come with some brackets that you can screw onto it, but I just opted for the double-sided tape. I work in a body shop, and that's the same 3M tape that holds on moldings on every car going down the road at 100 miles an hour. So it should have no problem holding this up here. So now that everything's working, we're just gonna tuck these wires in here. We need to get the other connector here. So here's the two connectors for the radio. And we'll plug them back in. That's the first one. This one's a little shorter. All right. Everything's plugged in. And there you go. And as you can see, the radio still has power. hit that, it doesn't do anything to it. We're still perfectly fine here. And that was just the easiest way that I saw in getting light underneath here. So now I'm just gonna put the 4 screws in there. This cover snaps back on and we're done. So those 4 go in, and this literally just slides over, and we're done. That's it. I hope it helped. I'll put a link to this light in the description. I think I paid like 25 bucks for 2 of them. So I may put another one underneath the bed in the storage area. I have my awning power switch running there, so same deal. I'll just jump into that power right there and have light underneath there when I open up the door. But that should make the lady happy when she's cooking, and I'm happy because I love LEDs. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe. Do appreciate it. And if you want to see more camper stuff, let me know. As I said, I didn't share any of this with YouTube at all, but I've pretty much gutted and built this whole thing. So I'm sure I have more projects ahead of me. And if you like it, just let me know. Thanks. And I will see you next time.